All right, I come from Missouri, and I was driving up 275 and got off at the Sharonville Mason exit and had the pleasure of driving down Mason Montgomery Road. I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry, Reading Road. Reading Road. And all the way down through Pisgah, Westchester, and Mason was solid businesses. And I was like just in shock. I had never expected it to build in such a way that it did. So that was the very interesting impression that I got from arriving here. I have a prepared statement now. So here we are again. It's time for our 50th year reunion, and my has time flown by. I'm standing in front of you guys because the yearbook superlative said that I was the best leader. So, I didn't know that was going to be funny. So accordingly, as your president, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to our 50th year reunion. And you guys are getting off cheap. Most presidents, like Obama, charge $400,000 for per speech. But I'm doing it for free because I want to be here. Before coming to this reunion, I was a little concerned that you would recognize me. Then, after much thought, I turned to science, Mr. Clairol. Now, if you look at our high school yearbook, you'll be amazed that I look much the same. So does he or doesn't he? Okay, in case there's a question of who I am, because you don't recognize me, or you don't remember me, or you're somewhat senile, because not that any of you are old, but I am Joseph, president of the senior class for 1970 for the last 52 years. I'd like to share some thoughts from Dr. Longfellow. He's a renowned world-class speaker, and he also spoke at his 50th year reunion. His first question was, why is it at class reunions you feel younger than everyone else looks? Also, I've come to realize that at this point in my life, happy hour is really a nap. And I want you guys to think about something. Imagine 50 years from now, in this room, it will probably be hosting another 50-year reunion, but it will be filled with old people with sagging tattoos. When I gave the class history speech at our graduation, I didn't have a clue that I would be speaking to you 50 years later. And actually, thanks to COVID, it's really 50 plus 2 years later. So I don't know if this is a 50-year reunion or a 52-year reunion. Not sure. Okay, I thought I'd spend a few moments with you to welcome you to our reunion and talk about a little nostalgia and maybe some old people stuff. Before we get started, however, I'd like to thank our sponsors. The first is the famous Big Top restaurant located at the corner of Reading and Snyder Road. Try their delicious burger. And also Yankees Junkyard, located in the heart of downtown Mason. Get your quality used parts from Yankee. And maybe your grandkids can also get chased by Yankee for added fun. I would like to individually call out the people that are in the reunion committee. Starting in alphabetical order, it's Pam Butler Daniels, Bobby Dow, Pam Harvey Hadley, Nancy Space Hoon, Brent Osborne, Peggy Dunford Stover, and several others. Also, additionally, we'd like to thank Bobby for providing us with music. Let's show. We have a special guest with us tonight. She taught English for the 9th and 10th grades and also business courses at William Mason. We are very honored to have her here with us. Please join me in welcoming Hester Smith. Thank you, Hester. Thank you, Hester, for being here tonight. Thank you. Allow me to speak to you and tell you what a pleasure it is to be with all of you this evening. Let's momentarily go back in time to the days of our wonderful youth. Remember when it was the year 1970 and we were 17 and 18-year-olds, full of life, hope, and anticipation. We accepted our diplomas, representing years of studies and molding from our parents, teachers, and peers. We grew up in an era like no others, the 60s. There were no cell phones, no laptops humming, no traffic lights equipped with mini cams snapping pictures of us. Life moved a lot slower. A person felt more free and independent as they went about their business. You could get away with a lot of things in the 60s if you set your mind to it. But even at the same time, people felt a greater obligation to each other. In my humble opinion, people were more law-abiding back then and more respectful. But whoops, things do change, or do they? As a society, we have been discussing family values and what is the best way to do everything since I can remember. But as we went out into the world to make our mark in this confusing, changing world, most of us found someone that made our lives complete. That wasn't always easy, and sometimes it took additional trying. But if you were lucky and fortunate, like I was, you end up with a partner that will be there to share life's many interesting twists and turns. I am sure all of you have had many achievements in your lives. Sometimes we minimize our most important achievements, our family and friends. I, however, value these highly. I am acutely aware of this since my wife and I went through cancer treatment at the same time. You know the secret of a good marriage: do everything together. However, the doctor said we may not have understood that one quite right. But as I look around this group and realize after 52 years, we are just lucky to be here tonight. You know, I was kidding about our sponsors, but it does bring memories back of a past time. Let us reminisce to the time when we were going to Frisch's after football games, the silent pep rallies, watching movies either at the Dream Theater or the outside Mason Drive-In, and also going to Sharon Woods to wax your car. But all of that has changed. Mason has grown so large that our old high school has been turned into a middle school. The Dream Theater is gone, and so is the Big Top. Where is the Buckeye Lodge? Things change, chapters close. That is life. For me, our reality is best exemplified by the recent death of Tony Dow. Does anybody know who that is? Yes, very good. Celebrity deaths in particular serve as an uncontrollable reminder that our time on this planet is finite. That reminds me of something. I wanted to tell you guys that I recently purchased a new bed. The bed came with a 20-year warranty. So as I'm paying for it, I'm thinking, hey, this is probably my deathbed. Anyway, none of us will live forever. And none of us, no matter how rich, famous, or talented, are immune to unfortunate circumstances. For all I know, this may be the last time I see you guys. We must cherish this time we have left. In remembrance of the 21 classmates that have passed so far, Sharon Irvin Graves has provided us a memorial board. Oh, how they have made our lives richer. May they all rest in peace. We shall never forget them. We went to a great school, William Mason High, during a great time. There were never any armed guards at our doors, nor were there turnstiles or magnetic detection devices. I can't remember ever bringing a gun to school. Every day for 4 years, we passed peacefully through her portals. Every day, we learned a little bit more about the world around us. Every day, we revealed how special our little corner of reality was. I'm sure that when I say things like PE, auto mechanics, home ec, algebra, that will truly bring back memories of high school days. Being part of this class has left an imprint on each of us. Do you remember the times of your youth together and how your friends affected you? Do you remember your teachers and their effect on you? Mr. Popwell's American History class? Mrs. Smith's English class? Or Mr. Powell's shop class? We were middle-class kids from a baby boom generation. I can't believe that I'm already 70. The thing about old age is you don't get a chance to practice. This is the first time I've ever been old, and it just sort of crept up on me. I'm trying to adapt to old age by playing pickleball. It's my only form of exercise. In light of that, we can't have a 50-year reunion without some philosophy on aging. So here are some observations I've learned about being old. Old is when your doctor doesn't give you x-rays anymore, he just holds you up to the light. Old is when everything on you either dries up or leaks. And for the guys, old is when your ears and your nose have more hair than your head. Old is when you can live without sex, but not your glasses. And finally, old is when you're told to slow down by your doctor and not the police. Through the years, I was very interested in the theories of Sigmund Freud about the phenomenon of aging. Well, my friends, forget about it. Today, we're living in an area of drug-induced stupor with Zoloft, Paxil, Viagra, and mood stabilizers. How else are we going to survive climate change, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Iran and North Korea's nuclear arms race, and what about the FBI raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago? To help us through this, we have more in common today than we had back in high school. We all are members of the AARP, we all collect Social Security, we are all now eligible for Medicare, and we get senior discounts wherever we go. So far, so good. Well, we may be growing old, but we still have plenty of years to look forward to. Thanks to our technology, our unprecedented longevity will give us many years to enjoy life. These reunions are a great equalizer, but why else would an otherwise sane person subject himself to such extreme scrutiny by people who you knew way back then when? We survived high school without too much baggage and therefore assimilated into society without much difficulty. What is so special about our class and getting back together after all these years? It is that we knew each other before we were fathers, mothers, grandfathers, and grandmothers. We knew each other before you raised and educated your children and spoiled your grandchildren and built your careers. You are a 1970 Mason High School graduate. We knew each other when we were just kids in classes, sports, plays, and hobbies of all kinds. We knew each other when we were in the lunch line complaining about the food. We knew each other when life was much simpler, yet so much fun. We knew each other when we all laughed a lot. What great days those were. How much we all cherish them, how rich our lives have been because of those times and those priceless memories. Life is what happens to us while we are all busy doing other things. Turn around twice and guess what? All of a sudden we realize we're all seniors again. Now, you know what I was trying to say there? You're a senior in high school, and now you're a senior. Yeah. You can tell by the changing conversations. The men's conversation has changed from how many beers you can chug to what foods can you no longer eat. Or it's not how many times a football player scored in a game, but how many surgeries we've had. And for the women, instead of talking about whether they wear the right shade of lipstick, they talk about what medicine they should take before each meal. Even though age is still creeping up on us, we're not through yet. There's still plenty of work to be done. As grandparents, we provide an anchor for both our own grandchildren and for their children as well. I know that our class will continue to be special. Few things grab us by the collar and humble us as much as these high school reunions. They come back every 10 or 15 years or so to haunt us like a ghost from the past. And maybe it's just what's so humbling about them. They expose our youthful past. Well, there's so much more I'd like to share with you, but I only have so much time, and I know you guys are hungry, so I won't keep you any longer. I'm glad we had such a great turnout this weekend and the opportunity to get reacquainted once again and share special memories. It is given us the opportunity to share some laughs. We are so lucky to have experienced the time we had together. Keep this in mind. If you're dissatisfied with your age and would like to go back to your youth, just remember math class. Mark Twain once said, "Don't regret getting older. It is a privilege denied to many." Thank you very much.